All right, get ready to explore. Today we're going deep into Jungian psychology.
Sounds fascinating.
It is. We've got this excerpt from Anima and Animus, exploring Jung's archetypes of inner balance.
Okay.
And we're going to try to understand these concepts, Anima and Animus. They're super interesting, but, they can be a little tricky to grasp sometimes.
Yeah, for sure.
Think you're ready to unlock some secrets about yourself and your relationship?
Absolutely. Always ready for that. Jung was all about looking deeper, right?
Beyond the surface.
Beyond what we're aware of, like into the hidden parts of our minds.
Exactly. So to get us started, can you give us like a clear definition of what Jung meant by anima and animus? Because those terms, I think, they can sound a bit intimidating when you first hear them.
Yeah, I can see that. It's all about like masculine and feminine energy within each of us, like not in a traditional gender role way.
Okay, yeah.
But more like these energies exist in everyone. So the anima represents the unconscious feminine aspects in a man, like intuition, emotions, receptivity, creativity.
That's like the man's connection to his inner world.
Yeah, exactly. The part that might not always be obvious on the surface.
Okay, got it. So that's anima for men. What about animus? Is that basically the flip side then for women?
Exactly. It's those unconscious masculine aspects within a woman. Think logic, assertiveness, drive to achieve goals, that sense of rationality.
So like the inner strength.
Yeah, that inner strength and focus that helps women navigate the world.
So it sounds like it's not about sticking to these traditional gender roles, right?
Nope.
It's more about acknowledging that everyone has both.
Right. We all have masculine and feminine energies within us.
And these archetypes, you're saying, they're like, what did you say? Like a bridge between the two.
Yeah, they act as bridges between our conscious and unconscious minds, and they're affecting, everything, our relationships, how we express ourselves creatively.
So they're pretty important.
They're huge. And what's even more interesting is Jung didn't see these archetypes as static. He thought they evolve over time, like through these different stages.
Okay, now that is super interesting. It's like these inner forces are like on a journey.
Yeah.
Can you walk us through those stages?
Of course. So let's start with the anima. Imagine a man's journey of integrating his anima.
Okay, yeah.
The first stage is Eve.
Eve, okay.
She's like basic needs, desires, very primal energy.
That instinctual energy, yeah.
Right. And let's say a man is fixated at this stage. He might, struggle with being impulsive or overly focused on instant gratification.
So it's like the foundation.
Yeah.
But getting stuck there, that could be a problem.
Exactly.
So what happens next? What's after Eve?
Next, we move to Helen. Helen of Troy. She represents that romantic ideal.
Okay.
Beauty, inspiration that can captivate a man. Think of a man at this stage, he might be chasing this like idealized image of a partner.
Right.
And then he's disappointed when reality doesn't match up.
Oh, yeah, the classic love at first sight track.
Exactly.
But it sounds like there's more to this journey, right? There must be more after Helen.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Then comes Mary.
Okay.
She represents the spiritual side of the anima. Compassion, wisdom, a deeper kind of love.
Okay.
A man who's integrated this stage, he's likely to have more fulfilling relationships.
More mature?
Less driven by those superficial desires and more attuned to like genuine connection.
So we're going from like purely physical attraction to something much, much deeper.
Right.
What's the final stage then?
The pinnacle. It's Sophia. She's the ultimate integration with the unconscious.
Right.
True wisdom, understanding, embracing and accepting those feminine aspects.
Really embracing them.
Yeah. A man who embodies Sophia, he can navigate emotions maturely, express creativity, connect with people on a deeper level.
That's quite a progression.
It is.
What about the animus? Does it follow a similar kind of path for women?
It does, yeah, but with its own unique kind of flavor.
Okay, yeah.
The first stage is the athlete. Raw power, assertiveness. Think of a woman fixated at this stage. She might be seen as aggressive or struggle with, like, collaboration.
So it's like that initial burst of energy, but it needs to be, like, refined.
Yeah, you need to work with it.
So what's next? What comes after the athlete?
Then comes the hunter. Initiative, purpose, going after what you want.
Okay.
A woman who's integrated this stage, she can set clear goals, pursue them with passion and determination.
So she's got, like, direction.
Exactly. Then we move to the sage.
She's a sage, okay.
She embodies intellectual and philosophical growth, thirst for knowledge, understanding.
So she's seeking wisdom.
Yeah. A woman who's at this stage, she might be drawn to like intellectual pursuits, mentorship, maybe using her knowledge to make a difference.
Okay, so she's not just, accumulating knowledge, she's actually using it.
Right.
Okay, so what's the final stage of the animus?
The animus culminates in the spirit. It's about spiritual insight, profound self-discovery,
Wow.
connecting to a deeper meaning in life. A woman who embodies this stage is deeply connected to her intuition, her values, her unique purpose.
Okay, so we've got these 4 stages for both anima and animus,
Yeah.
leading toward this wholeness.
Yes.
But why? Why is this integration so crucial? What happens if we just ignore these archetypes?
Well, for Jung, integrating the anima and animus was central to his idea of individuation,
Okay.
becoming a complete, authentic self.
So it's not just about understanding it in our heads, it's about living it.
Exactly. It's about inner harmony. Embracing both our masculine and feminine sides, it reduces inner conflict and, we live richer lives.
It makes sense. And I imagine that impacts our relationships too.
Absolutely. When we're more in touch with ourselves, we project less onto others,
Yeah.
It leads to healthier, more genuine connections. Like, for example, imagine a man who hasn't integrated his anima. He might constantly need validation from women,
Right.
He's projecting his need for emotional connection instead of cultivating it within himself.
That's a really good example.
Mhm.
And yeah, that would lead to problems. You mentioned there were dangers of neglecting these archetypes. What are some of those? What happens if we don't do this work?
Well, if a man's anima is unintegrated, he might become moody,
Okay.
overly sensitive,
Yeah.
or project unrealistic expectations onto women. Like, he's still searching for that perfect Helen figure and can't connect with real women.
It's like those unconscious needs are running the show.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Okay, so what about for women? What happens if the animus remains unintegrated?
Well, for women, an unintegrated animus can manifest as stubbornness, being overly critical, maybe even domineering. Like, think of a woman stuck in that hunter stage. She's got the drive, but not the wisdom.
Ah, okay.
It can become overwhelming. She might have trouble delegating, seeing other people's perspectives.
So basically, we've all got these powerful forces inside us,
Yes.
and it's up to us to become aware of them and learn how to integrate them in a healthy way.
Right, exactly. But how do we actually begin to tackle that? What are some practical steps we can take?
That's a great question. The first step is just acknowledging, right? Acknowledging the presence of these archetypes, paying attention to how they show up. But how do we actually do that? It's not like we can just, invite our anima out for coffee.
Well, not exactly. It's more about tuning into those subtle ways they appear in our lives, like becoming a detective of your own mind.
I like that. Okay, so what clues should we be looking for?
One of the best sources of insight is our dreams. For men, the anima often shows up in dreams as a mysterious or alluring female figure.
Oh, so that recurring dream I have about the woman in the red dress. Could that be my anima trying to tell me something?
It could be. It's worth exploring what that image means to you, what feelings come up, what associations. For women, the animus might appear as a strong male figure.
Symbolizing what?
It could symbolize needing more assertiveness or a clearer direction in life.
So dreams are one piece of the puzzle. What other areas of our lives can offer us these clues?
Pay attention to your relationships. We often project our anima or animus onto our partners.
Oh, yeah.
We either idealize them or we get frustrated when they don't live up to our unconscious expectations.
It's that whole "you're not who I thought you were" thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, I've definitely been there. How do we know if it's projection, though? Or just genuine incompatibility?
That's a great question. Notice if you keep falling for the same type of person or struggling with the same patterns in relationships, that's often a sign your anima or animus is at play.
So awareness is key. But once we've acknowledged these archetypes, what then? How do we actually start integrating them?
Jung believed in the power of dialogue with the unconscious. He came up with techniques like active imagination, where you're actually interacting with these figures. You can do this through writing, visualization, even art.
So it's like having a conversation with the parts of ourselves we've been ignoring.
Exactly. By engaging with the anima or animus this way, we start to understand their messages.
Okay.
And we can integrate their energy in a healthier way.
This is starting to sound a little bit like therapy. Do we need to be on a therapist's couch to do this work?
Well, therapy can be really helpful, but it's not the only way. Journaling is great for exploring your inner world.
Yeah.
Write down your dreams, look for patterns, explore your reactions to people and situations.
Okay.
Ask yourself, is this my anima or animus talking?
So it's about becoming more mindful. Are there any other tools we can use?
Don't underestimate art and culture.
Okay.
Myths, stories, even movies are full of archetypal imagery. Pay attention to characters that resonate with you.
Right, both the ones you love and the ones you hate.
Yeah, exactly. What might they be reflecting about your own anima or animus? For example, a woman who really connects with Athena, the Greek goddess of wisdom, she might be recognizing her own animus energy.
So we're like detectives, looking for clues in our dreams, our relationships, even our favorite books and movies.
That's a great way to put it. And remember, it's an ongoing process. It's not about becoming perfectly balanced. It's about recognizing and honoring both the masculine and feminine, embracing all of who you are.
This has been really eye-opening. But, I have to ask, what are some of the actual, practical benefits? How does understanding these archetypes actually improve our lives?
That's where it gets really exciting. Integrating the anima and animus can have a huge impact on our relationships, our creativity, and our overall well-being. We can dive into those benefits right after.
Hold on, everyone.
Oh.
We'll be right back to explore the transformative power of anima and animus integration. Okay, we're back and ready to talk more about integrating our anima or animus.
Right.
You were saying the first step is just acknowledging that they're there.
Yeah.
But how? How do we do that? It's not like we could just schedule a meeting with our anima.
No, not quite. It's more about noticing the subtle ways they show up, in our daily lives, becoming a detective.
Okay, detective of what?
Of your own psyche.
Okay, I like that. So what kind of clues should we be looking for?
Well, our dreams are a big one. For men, the anima often appears in dreams as this mysterious female figure or a really alluring one.
Interesting.
She could be like a representation of a deep longing or a part of yourself that you haven't fully embraced.
So that dream I keep having about the woman in the red dress, could that be my anima?
Maybe. It's worth thinking about what that image means to you.
Yeah.
How does it make you feel? What comes to mind when you think about it? And for women, the animus might show up as this powerful male figure,
Right.
symbolizing maybe a need for more assertiveness or a clear direction in life.
So dreams are one clue. What else? What other parts of our lives can give us these clues?
Well, think about your relationships. We tend to project our anima or animus onto our partners,
Right.
We either put them on a pedestal or get disappointed when they don't meet our unconscious expectations.
Oh, yeah, that whole "you're not who I thought you were" thing.
Oh.
Been there.
Right. It happens. But how do we know if it's projection or if it's actually just incompatibility?
Yeah, it's a good question.
It's tricky, right? But pay attention to patterns. Do you always seem to fall for the same type of person? Or are you running into the same issues in every relationship?
Okay, so that's probably a sign the anima or animus is involved.
Exactly. Awareness is so important. So once we've kind of acknowledged that these archetypes exist, what's the next step? How do we actually start integrating them?
That's the big question.
Jung was a huge believer in talking to your unconscious. He actually developed techniques like active imagination.
Okay, what's that?
It's where you actually interact with these figures.
Actually talk to them.
Yeah, well, not literally talk, but you can write, visualize, even use art.
Okay.
It's about having that dialogue.
So it's almost like having a conversation with the parts of ourselves that we've been kind of ignoring or pushing away.
You got it. And by engaging with the anima or animus in this way, we can start to understand what they're trying to tell us.
Okay.
And then we can integrate their energy in a healthier way.
So this is sounding a bit like therapy. Do we need to be seeing a therapist to do this work?
Well, therapy's always a good option, but it's not the only way. Journaling is a fantastic way to explore your inner world.
Okay.
Write down your dreams. Pay attention to those recurring themes, those feelings that keep popping up.
Right.
Explore how you react to people, to different situations.
Okay.
Ask yourself, is this my anima? Is this my animus influencing things?
Okay, got it. It's like being more mindful of what's going on inside. Any other things we can try?
Oh, yeah. Art and culture can be really powerful.
Well,
Think
yeah.
about it. Myths, stories, movies, they're all full of these archetypal images. Pay attention to the characters that resonate with you.
Okay.
The ones you love and the ones you hate. What could they be saying about your own anima or animus?
I like that. It's like we're detectives searching for clues, not just in our own lives, but in stories and movies, too.
Exactly. It's this constant process of discovery. And remember, it's not about achieving perfect balance. It's about recognizing and honoring both sides, the masculine and the feminine within. Embracing the fullness of who you are.
This has been amazing, but, I got to ask, what's the payoff? How does understanding all of this actually improve our lives?
That's the exciting part. Integrating the anima and animus can really transform your relationships, your creativity, your well-being as a whole.
All right, we're back. Ready to talk about, the payoff of all this anima and animus stuff. What are the benefits?
Yeah, the benefits are huge. Like we were saying earlier, integrating these archetypes can lead to much healthier relationships.
Okay, yeah.
When we understand our own inner masculine and feminine, we don't project so much onto our partners.
So it's not about looking for someone to complete us.
Right. It's more about finding someone who complements us.
Yeah.
We're already whole.
Yeah, I see what you mean. We come to the relationship as a whole person, not expecting the other person to fill in the gaps.
Exactly. We can be more self-aware. Recognize that our partners are their own people, not just projections of our unconscious needs.
Right, yeah. That makes a lot of sense. What about creativity? Does integrating these archetypes have any impact on how we express ourselves creatively?
Oh, absolutely. The anima and animus are a huge part of our creative potential.
Okay.
For men, the anima, with its emphasis on intuition and emotion, can be a huge source of inspiration. Like, think of a musician who channels his anima to write a really moving song.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. What about women?
For women, the animus, with its focus on logic and structure, can help give shape to their creative ideas. Like, imagine a female architect who uses her animus to design an amazing building.
So it's like we unlock this whole new level of creative expression, by integrating these two energies.
Yeah, exactly. We expand our creative palette and allow ourselves to express, the full spectrum of who we are.
Okay, I like that. So beyond relationships and creativity, how does all of this affect our overall well-being? What about our inner world?
This is where we get to Jung's idea of individuation. Remember that puzzle we talked about?
Yeah, with all the pieces.
Right. Each piece represents a different part of ourselves. And integrating the anima and animus is like putting all those pieces together.
To see the whole picture.
Exactly. It leads to more harmony inside, more self-acceptance. We're not fighting against ourselves anymore. We embrace our strengths and even our weaknesses.
We're not trying to be someone we're not.
Right. And that, in turn, can boost self-esteem, make you more resilient when things get tough. You'll feel a deeper sense of purpose, too.
Wow, so integrating these archetypes, it really does have a ripple effect on our whole lives.
It really does.
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive into anima and animus, what's the one thing you want our listeners to take away from this?
Well, I think the most important thing is that these archetypes aren't just some abstract ideas. They're real.
Okay, yeah.
They're forces that live inside each of us.
Okay.
They affect how we think, feel, and act. And by becoming aware of them and starting that journey of integration, well, we open ourselves up to a much deeper understanding of who we are.
And we can start to create a more fulfilling life for ourselves.
Yeah. Exactly.
This has been a truly fascinating discussion. So much to think about. I hope our listeners will take some time to reflect on how these archetypes might be showing up in their own lives. And who knows? Maybe by engaging with our anima or animus, we can discover even more about ourselves. Thanks for listening.